We'll go through all of today's Tesla stock news, and we'll start with this, which is a stunning Tesla stock news story. I have no words really for this. It all started with Mark Zuckerberg launching a Twitter competitor called Threads. And Elon's response is very interesting. He says that Zuck is a cuck and that he is proposing a literal PP measuring contest. As a Tesla stock investor, you know that I do not like the idea of Elon Musk physically getting into a fight and possibly risking a brain injury, let's say, and then Tesla stock going down long term. I don't like that idea. So this, as much as I do not like this perhaps is less terrible of the two. But I think he would still do both if he actually followed through on this. So I'm not really sure how to react to that. Tesla stock is down today, although we do have some good news. And I don't just mean me being back, although that is, of course, good news. My wisdom teeth surgery removal was successful, although the pain lasted for a long time, and this is the first day where I can smile mostly without pain, although if I smile a lot, I do feel some pain still. But Philippe from Jefferies, he increases Tesla's stock price target, and he's a fairly decent analyst actually. His price target moved from 185 to now 265. Jefferies also maintained a hold rating on Tesla's stock. And Philippe said Jefferies was joining the consensus view that Tesla's second quarter will be a trough in auto gross margins. The analysts added that recent developments also suggest a shift in valuation drivers, with Tesla's early focus on AI-based autonomy standing out. Although not enough for this 5-star analyst to say that Tesla stock is now a buy. Instead, for now, he says it is a hold. And I remember about maybe 6 months ago, tipranks.com said that the most accurate 1-year price targets are from Philippe. But keep in mind that he's only right 66% of the time. So even the most accurate person is only right 66% of the time, which is more than 50%, but it's nowhere close to 100%. So don't take this as some sort of truth that will definitely happen. I found this to be really interesting. According to a recent study from Cox Automotive, over 51% of consumers are now considering buying an EV, used or new, within the next year, up from 38% in 2021. And according to the largest online used retailer in the US, these are the best-selling used EVs. This is basically in the US. Model 3 is number 1, but the Model Y is number 5. And the reasons for that could be a few. One of the reasons, for example, is no one wants to get rid of their Model Y because once they get their hands on it, they don't want to get rid of it. Maybe people just love it that much, even though it is the best-selling EV, I believe. But the Model 3 is number 1. And I think I know of a few people that traded in their Model 3s to get a Model Y. I think the Model Y overall is a more desirable car. Tesla is promoting the dog mode with this new video. As Tesla stock investors, we don't want to overly obsess about each country's EV market share that Tesla has, but the global EV market share I think is quite a bit more important. And you can see that Tesla is growing this year. It is at 20.1%. Last year, Tesla was at 17.1%. This is translated from Spanish, but it looks like really good news. The governor of Nuevo Leon, which is where the Gigafactory would be built, he says that at any moment, they will lay the first stone for Tesla's Gigafactory. So there's no exact date, but things are moving forward. And he also said that they, Tesla, are already in the final stage of the design of the new car, which is the next generation vehicle. And he also said with the design finished, what we know is that they are already finishing the production lines, the software, and everything that must be ready to start the plant. And it appears that France is pretty positive about attracting some sort of investment from Tesla. This is from Reuters, and The finance minister said that Elon Musk knows that he would be welcome in France and that it is up to Elon to make the decision now. We got new numbers from China. We got the wholesale number, which came in at 93,680. We had 19,468 exported from China, and sales within China were at 74,000 roughly, and we will have a Model S and X number soon as well, but we don't have them yet. And that made June the fourth best month ever in China, but we know the last quarter was the best quarter ever in China. The Shanghai Gigafactory appears to be operating as usual. There's no real sign of the refresh Model 3 here yet, although we had some rumors before that it's already in some sort of production. But we have some interesting news from Giga Austin. Employees have been moved to the Cybertruck production line ahead of production start. Certainly a possible indication that we might have a Cybertruck launch a little bit sooner than currently is expected, but I wouldn't really get too excited yet. But this is a good sign. I have not heard of this person before, but he calls himself a rational optimist, and he said that if Britain switches all cars to electric, it may actually increase emissions. An EV has to travel 50,000 miles to break even with an ICE car. That number is growing, not shrinking, but batteries last about 60,000 miles. Luckily, community notes appeared here, and it clearly states that the batteries actually last a very long time. And an EV does not have to travel for 50 or 60,000 miles to break even with an ICE car in terms of emissions. Of course, it also depends on where are you getting your electricity from. But Martin here from Tesla says that you only need about 1 year. Tesla's impact report of 2022 says that after approximately 2 years of driving, an EV's lifetime emissions are lower than an ICE vehicle's. Gary Black talked a little bit about when he may increase his price target for Tesla stock. He hasn't changed it in a while now. And he first wants to be sure that the bottom of gross margins is going to be Q2. And he also wants to see when will the refresh Model 3 be released. Here are the latest numbers from Gary. Pause if you like. And Gary uses a discount rate of 13.1%. So basically whatever price for Tesla stock that he's assigning for, let's say, 2030, he's discounting at 13.1% from there to get to today's number. This is from a few days ago, but Mercedes-Benz will also join Tesla's charging network. This is a bit crazy, but it works in Tesla's advantage, with just 8% of new vehicles costing under $30,000. It's the least affordable car market in modern history. And this is just crazy. Unsold electric vehicles are piling up on dealer lots in the US. The nationwide supply of EVs in stock has swelled nearly 350% this year to more than 92,000 units. That's 92 days of supply and 5.7 times higher than Tesla's 16 days of supply. Other luxury models like Audi's Q4 e-tron and Q8 e-tron have bloated inventories with well above 100 days of inventory. All come with hefty price tags that make them ineligible for federal tax credits. And for context, as Sawyer, the average days of supply in the auto industry right now is about 56 days. And while I was recovering from my surgery, we had so many Tesla stock price target increases. For example, this one is from Mizuho. Here's another one from Bank of America, up from $225 to $300, although they kept their rating neutral. On Friday, Tesla increased Model 3 discounts from $3,000 to now $4,120, which is absolutely insane because including the federal tax credit in the US, this car now starts under $30,000. And if you remember earlier in the video, I showed you that only about 8% of all the new cars in the US start under $30,000. So this is a ridiculously good deal. And in California or Colorado, that price can go down to under $25,000. For example, Honda Civic starts at $23,750. So at this point, if you are buying a new car and you are buying a car that is not a Tesla, assuming that it is roughly within your price range, yeah, that means you either don't know that Teslas are this cheap with all of the tax incentives, or you just really don't like Elon, perhaps, or maybe you road trip a lot, or you don't understand yet that charging is really easy, or maybe you live in an apartment. If you live in an apartment, yeah, I understand it, but most people in the US live in single-family houses. In other words, if Tesla starts advertising seriously, expect the inventory to go down a lot. Right now it's at about 16 days, so I would expect that to go down significantly. In other words, there would be another, perhaps huge delivery beat like we had this time. And now let's do a quick personal update about my surgical removal of wisdom teeth. If you have horizontally growing wisdom teeth and if you haven't removed them, you may want to do that quickly if they are growing and they are causing you pain, which they did cause a lot of pain for me. Although maybe not as much pain as I experienced after the first maybe 2 days or so after the surgery. That was pretty bad. I did not eat anything for maybe 2 days. I was just recovering and I couldn't really move my mouth much. I couldn't speak either. I would just text everyone around me, which was an interesting experience. But I am mostly good now, although not fully. Right now, my cheeks are starting to hurt a little bit, so I'm going to stop talking for the rest of this day, but I think going forward it should be much better every single day. So for today, just one video, maybe sometime later this week, I'll be back to 2 videos when I can actually smile fully without any pain. Thank you all for kind words. The surgery went well, and I'm happy to be back. And in this video, you will see Elon's interview, which if you haven't watched, I highly recommend that you watch it. But YouTube wants you to watch this video next. My name is Matt Postius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.